go back in my life 5 years ago, and I was married to a man who subsequently psychiatrists said was very severely psychopathic, and to reframe it, probably lied about how crazy he was, probably even worse than that, however much worse you can get than severely. So, at that time in my life, it was definitely a mess, and it's hard to describe, especially in a short time, what it's like to be with someone like that. And, you get in all these really circular arguments that you can't get out of, like this thing you did bothered me. Well, 6 weeks ago, you did something that bothered me. Okay, well, we could talk about that, but let's finish this conversation. No, you are not focused on your own problems. We can talk about those any other time than right now. Let's talk about this thing. No, you have a problem. You are the problem here. So, and this was how this was in private, obviously it was very different in public. In public, it's all, I'm very nice, I'm wonderful, I'm a good husband, I'm a good parent. And, so that's the way it was. And it was really partly, I knew inside that I couldn't live this way forever. But it's really hard to see how you're ever going to get out of that. And so, because all these stories have to be about body fluids or something else gross, right? So, one thing that I remember that just really, you always think like, well, one of the things that I thought a lot was, if I leave him, who's going to love my kids? Like, he doesn't really, but who else is going to love my kids? And so, like, one night I was away for the night. My daughter, who was 6 at the time, threw up in the night, because kids do that. They always throw up in the night. They never throw up in, like, the daytime. Like, there's the toilet right nearby or something. It's always in the middle of the night when everybody's tired. And I wasn't there, and her dad told her, you go clean it up yourself. Because there was nowhere there to see him, so he didn't need to put on an act. So I had to clean up in the morning, because, obviously a 6-year-old isn't going to clean up from vomit in the middle of the night. So go forward a couple years, I finally left him. That was very hard for a lot of reasons. I had a new boyfriend for, I don't remember how long. He keeps track of that stuff. Year or two. So not super long yet. And he was over the night. And so I'm a nurse, so everything gross is like, whatever, whatever. We'll talk about it over lunch. It's great. He's like, if you say the word vomit, I'm going to dry heave, and if I see it, I'm going to throw up myself. I hear one of my kids crying in the night, my youngest. We go down there, and she's thrown up. And it's everywhere. It's in her hair. It's all over her. It's all over the bunk bed. It's on the rails. It's on the bedding. And she's sobbing, and she's going, it's on my hands. It's on my hands. And she is freaked out. And so I grab her, and I take her to the bathtub and, clean her up, because she needs a bath. It's everywhere. And when I get out, my boyfriend who can't handle seeing vomit without throwing up himself, has stripped the bed, put new sheets on, cleaned all the vomit off the handrails. Everything's in the wash. Her pajamas are in the wash. Got out new ones and brought them to me. Did all this in the dark without waking up my son, who's sleeping on the bottom bunk. And then that was kind of like, yeah, you know what? Someone else can love my kids, and this can be okay. And like, this was a big mess. This was definitely a hot mess, but it was okay because he was there. And even though this was certainly hard for him, it didn't matter because we needed to be done, so he did it for us. And so now, fast forward a couple more years, and we have a house together. We live together with all our 5 kids, and it's always crazy, but it's not a hot mess anymore.